man, can't believe you're actually here in the Tactical Take studio. Thanks for coming in. Here with me is Jaxon Bellamy, East Coast Hockey League, Maine Mariner, professional defenseman. Jaxon has a wealth of knowledge and experience. He's going to be a good candidate to chat with here for all the young players out there that are striving to become whatever it is throughout their hockey life. Jaxon's been through it. He's lived it. Jaxon was with the U18 St. John Vitoes for 2 years. He was drafted by the Moncton Wildcats in 2017 in the first round. Shortly after that, he was invited to the Arizona Coyotes NHL training camp. He spent a little bit of time with the Wildcats and was kind of caught off guard with an in-game trade, I believe, that sent him to the Sherbrooke Phoenix. Spent 3 years with Sherbrooke Phoenix before he then was traded once again to the Acadie Bathurst Tetons. Spent a little time there, finally made his way back home to the Moncton Wildcats, ending his QMJHL career with the Wildcats in 2022. After that, Jaxon went off to U Sport, spent some time with the SMU Huskies out of Halifax before making the jump to pro hockey. The grind was real for him, and he made it to the ECHL, and we'll see where it goes. He's not done yet. Young man, 25 years old, I believe, and there's lots of gas in the tank. Awesome, man. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. And no, it definitely was a grind from the Vitoes all the way to ending up back with Moncton. It was a lot of fun, and excited to get on the podcast.
Excellent. I got a lot of questions for you, Jaxon. And if I get off track, you can reel me back in and kind of take it wherever you would like. But I'd like you to kind of take us back to the beginning. Like, I'm talking before the Vitoes.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Hampton kid, born and raised. I'm from a family of brothers. You're the oldest of four?
Yeah. Four boys.
Your old man, Brian Bellamy, is a skills development instructor, local high school teacher. He's obviously spent a lot of time with all of you Bellamy boys throughout the years, and I'm especially in the younger years. Like, I'm talking U9, U11, U13. Can you just tell me a bit about that, what you can remember about those years?
Honestly, like, thinking back to those years, it was a lot of fun. And I remember going back to the Hampton rink. I remember when I first started, and my dad always wanted to be on the ice, whether he was just helping or whether he was a head coach. And for myself, he never put too much pressure on me at an early age, but he always told me one thing: if you're going to do something, make sure you do it 100%. And that is instilled into me to this day. And moving up through the ranks, it was fun, starting all the way from IP, learning how to skate, to, I think my last years I played Pee Wee AA. But he was always a part of it. He's always been someone that's been in my corner that continues to motivate me to this day. And for looking back on it, it's crazy to think that it's been that long, but I love every moment that I had in Hampton, and every time I get to come back during an off season, I enjoy every moment.
I tell you what, the local kids love it too. My son was part of the Bellamy Ice Times Academy, I'll call it. I don't know, Bellamy Ice Skates. And I remember him being real small, and you had a gray practice jersey on, and it was just this monster defenseman out there, but acting like a kid still and bumping them in the boards. And I'm telling you, man, these kids come off the ice and they're all smiles. And they're like, holy, that was Jaxon Bellamy. And they can't believe how big you are. And he's huge, he's a giant, and this and that. But that makes an impact on these young players out there and their core memories. Like, those are things that will probably stand out in these kids' minds when they're 20-something years old. And they'll remember these little snippets of time, and you'll be part of that.
Well,
sick, man.
For me, I always look back to, like, even when I was in kindergarten, I had the Sea Dogs come one time and they were reading us books. And I just remember, I remember that so vividly, because I was like, I want to be one of those guys. Like, I want to play in the queue. And I was 5 years old, but like, they're reading, I think it was Jonathan Huberdeau, like Nathan Bulio, all those guys came. And I'm like, these guys are so cool. Like, I remember thinking that. And I went back, my dad and I, actually, we ended up getting free tickets through a friend, and we went there, and it was one of my favorite memories, because it was my dad and I, but it was because I knew those guys. They read the books to us. So whenever I can jump on the ice, doesn't matter how old, or I love kind of just giving back to the community and trying to be a role model for anyone, because really you never know who's going to be in that position moving forward. And if they have a positive memory, like they're always going to be willing to give back to the community. So that's something that was instilled in me since the beginning.
That's what the game's all about, Jaxon. Like you're talking the talk, man, right there. It's a beautiful thing. And you can hear the love of it all, man. The community, the game. It's good to see. Just give me 1 second. Just want to make one adjustment.
Yeah, no worries.
Should be all right. Cool. All right, listen, let's jump into a few things here. You got 4 brothers, all defensemen somehow.
Yeah.
Was that your dad's master plan? Or did did he have any hands on your progression through the ranks and all your brothers? Or did all you just not have the mitts to play forward?
Oh, if you asked my dad, he would have said that I didn't have the mitts. I was chopping everything at a young age. But growing up, I honestly, I think there was one thing that sticks out to me is I remember we were getting scored on, like, a ton. I think he was novice at this point. Like, we're not even playing positions really. And I was so frustrated with us getting scored on. I was like, I'm playing D. I'm like, I don't want the puck to be in the back of the net. I want to have a chance to stop it instead of being way back, trying to skate back to get the puck. But for the rest of them, I think they just kind of all fell in love with just being defensemen and like having that role of, do you know what? I can score a few goals when I can, but also being able to shut down other teams' best lines. And at that age, I think it was easier for my dad just to coach D because he's like, Jaxon did it. Evan did it. Guess what? Carter and Reed, you're doing the same. It was awesome. And I remember he would study and he would stay up for hours and just study the game and analyze. And he honestly is a student of the game. Even when he was 40, when I was coming through, he was always trying to learn to help me and my brothers. And honestly, without him, I would not be where I am. And I think the boys could say the same thing about their careers as well.
Good. It's good to hear you give Brian some flowers. That's good. He deserves it. And, he's stern. And I like that about Brian being at his academies or his ice times. I don't know what to call it, but he pushes the boys hard. I like coaches that don't sugarcoat it all the time. At some point, the kids need to be pushed a little bit to kind of test their limits and see where they're actually at, and get them to find out that there is another level you can get to. You can push the edge a little harder, lean into that turn a little bit more, get out of the stuff quicker, right? Like, you need to be driven like that to make it to the next level, whatever 100%. That level is.
And that's the biggest thing. Like nowadays, and there's all different coaches' styles and all that, but I always found growing up, if you had a coach that believed in you, he's not going to sugarcoat it. He's not my dad will always say, he goes, I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not sugarcoating anything. You want to hear it straight up. You want to know what you have to do to get to the next level. He's going to tell you. So seeing him, and you could always see the development for especially when I was at SMU, you could see where the kids would start with my dad, and I think it would be November to the end, and it would be incredible jumps because he cares. He cares. He doesn't matter how your skill level or anything. He cares and he wants you to get better, and that's one thing from a coach that you always want, and he has that.
That's great. And it's for the love of the game. Those are the, coaches that I like. Yeah, they make a little bit of money on the ice time, but it's usually just to pay for the ice. They're not trying to make money most of the time. It's guys out there giving back because they love the game of hockey, right? Yeah. Or they love the grind of development, and it's cool. Cool to see.
It is. It's fun.
You were talking about how your brothers all become defensemen and through your father and whatnot, but I think they've obviously all looked up to you, right? You're like the lead of the pack. You were like the beacon that all the boys were looking at, thinking, well, this is the path and this is how we get there, and I want to be like big brother Jaxon. And clearly all of them look up to you, and
I'll try
and respect what you've done. That's for sure. Now, in saying that, brothers will be brothers. Okay.
Facts.
Growing up in a house full of boys sure was tough. Number one, you probably had to assert yourself as the dominant male several times in the house with all these young bucks coming in thinking that it's time for them to take a piece of the pie and try to challenge Big Brother. So some of those lessons that you learned battling with your brothers throughout childhood, do they play a role in who you are as a man today and throughout your professional career?
100%. Like it's funny you say it because as brothers, like you're always gonna have the few fights here and there, but honestly, like those three have really molded me into the man that I am today, whether it's leadership, whether it's like accepting that I am wrong at times. And for them, like, again, those three they're my best friends. They're unbelievable. And I couldn't be any prouder of all of them. And they continue to impress me every single day. And like yesterday, for example, we're at the gym and I'm looking around. I'm like, holy geez, these are not the same small little brothers that I remember. And they're killing it. They're working hard, but they just help me with patience. They help me with, honestly, my maturity, because I was 4 years older than Evan, 6.5 for Carter, and 8.5 with Reed. So like those are some big age gaps. So really just being there for them, being there for them in different ways, and whether it's the hockey aspect or whether it's just being an older brother and going out and, you know, just being there and chatting and making sure that they have somebody to talk to. There's always different aspects. So it's really helped my hockey career throughout it, for sure.
Just a wealth of knowledge, right? For everything, as you're talking about, it's all aspects of life, right? Like how to handle yourself in school, how to drive to have good marks, or, you know, how to deal with confrontation, you know, bullying, girlfriends, all the things. Exactly. These boys are coming to Big Brother Jaxon for advice, I'm assuming, or at least on some of those fronts they will, right? And that's cool to be a mentor to siblings. I mean, I'm raising 2 kids now and I love it. Like, I might preach a little too much, but I love the process of trying to instill knowledge in them through my own experiences. And you got to do it with siblings before you even have kids. So by the time you're a dad, you'll have it all figured out, man.
Well, hopefully it's a little bit easier. But it's cool, like seeing the aspect of like even them going through what I went through. And I try to help them because there's some things in the game that I went through that I hope my worst enemy doesn't go through, but seeing them go through the aspects that I did, it's exciting. Like Evan, for example, he's going through his whole figuring out what school he wants to. So he just committed to play for St. Mary's. So like for me, like that's a super cool.
The Huskies.
Yeah, the Huskies. So cool. He's playing for my old coach and he's playing with my old teammates. So like that to me is probably like, that's a proud big brother moment for me. And even Carter and Reed, Carter making junior A, like those are all moments where it's like we get to share those because we've all, like I've went through it, Evan's gone through it, Carter's gone through it, and now Reed gets to play for the Vitoes. So there's 4 of us that have been able to. So it's something we can share for forever.
That is interesting. So Evan's route through hockey is a little different than yours. So he had a small sample size up with the Q, or maybe a full season.
So he played about 3/4 of a season with Baie-Comeau, and his route, it's difficult, right? Because that whole NCAA rule change that took a toll on him because he went to the BCHL for NCAA. That was back then. You weren't able to play in the CHL. You weren't able to do that. If you did, like my whole chance was gone. You're not going NCAA as soon as you sign on the dotted line. So for him, he battled through all that adversity, and like he went to the BCHL and loved it. It was unbelievable for him. It really helped him mature, grow in every aspect of life. And so when he had the opportunity to go to Baie-Comeau as a 19-year-old, he was like, yeah, he goes, the rules changed. Like, why not? So he was closer to home and he really took off. His game matured in such a different way than mine because his path was completely different.
Yeah.
So for him to go in as a 19-year-old, as a rookie in the queue, it's really unheard of. And he went in there and took the reins. He was first power play, first PK, and playoffs. He was tearing it up. Yeah. So it was cool to see because I was able to watch him play in Cape Breton and seeing like Bellamy back in the queue. I was like, this is crazy. I'm looking with my dad and like we're watching with my dad and his uncle, and we're like, is this actually happening? I think it went to like 4 overtimes that game, and we're watching at one 1 a.m. And I'm like, no, this is still awesome. I'm like, I don't care what time it is. He's killing it. So,
This is great, man.
Yeah.
That is great. So he's on a great path, and he's the BCHL. So he would have went there for his grade 12 year.
no, so he went, what was it? He went grade 12 in Grand Falls.
Okay.
So he was a 17-year-old playing in Grand Falls with Greg Leland up there. They treated him great, and he was able to develop. So he made the jump to Prince George when he was 18, and then played half his 19-year-old year there, and then signed with Baie-Comeau, and then made Baie-Comeau as a 20-year-old. There were some complications there and stuff,
It is
but
what it is.
he got released, and he ended up going back to Prince George, and he did great. Through all that adversity, he wanted to work towards his game, and he did. And he's a 200-foot defenseman now, and now he's going to play for St. Mary's. So
It makes me so happy to hear, because my perception of youth sport right until this moment was, if you don't play in the CHL, you don't get to go to youth sport.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very different than like football, where football, I was recruited to go to St. FX, but that was through provincial play. And that's how I got a look. And it was nice to have the opportunity. There's kids throughout this area, Hampton, KV, St. John, that get scholarships, or they get offers to go to St. FX, Maune, whatever, and they get to go play youth sport. But in hockey, it always seemed like, oh no, you don't get to go to youth sport unless you're Q level player. But for Evan, it's nice to hear that there was a much longer runway than we actually think.
Well, there is.
His runway was different than yours, and he started developing, maybe not late, but like it's a different path, and he still made his way to the point where he's able to go to university, still get his education, and still play the game he loves at a high level. And then from there, like the world's his oyster. You can still go play pro or Europe or whatever. Right? There's 100% options.
100%. And it's like, it's all different with that NCAA rule change, right? And it's a whole different aspect, because like now, like some kids will ask me like different routes and everything. I'm like, I have no idea. I'm like, it's completely changed. I'm like, now you can go play CHL, go NCAA, but like now that you're able to go NCAA, like youth sports, it's going to change. And I think it's going to change for the better, and it's going to give a lot more Canadian kids the opportunity to further their hockey career, but also get an education out of it, because now most of the top 20-year-olds in the CHL, they'll be going to NCAA. Right. So you're going to have to look at the 19-year-olds that didn't make it as a 20-year-old, that are going down to junior A to finish off their 20-year-old seasons. And they're going to be committed, and they're going to play in youth sports levels. And for example, like St. Mary's, I just saw they committed a goalie from, I think it's West Kent, junior A goalie, but they're giving kids the opportunity to further their development. They were a silver medalist in nationals. Like it's crazy.
Great to hear, Jackson. Like, it's cool that, there's still opportunity. I have this kind of burned in my head a little bit. My boy is 15. He's now just leaving the U15 world, trying to make the St. John Vito's U18 or U16. But in my mind, it's like he's at this Y in the road, and it's either you can continue on the competitive path and this is it, or you go off to high school and that's it, your high school beer league. Right? Well, and it's really not that at 15 years old. You could go grind a high school year or two. You can then jump back into the U18 AAA level and still work your way through the process. And it's not a hard of a turn one way or the other.
No, it's not.
A lot of us parents think it is.
Oh, it's great. And that's the worst part, is like some parents will be like, oh, do you know what? You didn't make it. Your career's done. And I look at that and I'm like, no, like a little adversity goes a long way. And I truly believe that as an athlete, you need to go through it, whether that's an early age or a later stage. And if you go through it multiple times, even better, because you're going to know what to do. Like Carter's a great example, because he played the minor team his first year, and then his second year, he didn't make Vito's. And he went back and played Bulldogs. Well, people were like, oh, your career's done. Yeah. It's over. Like, just enjoy Bulldogs. And I loved it, because Carter was like, not a chance. I'm still going to work at this. He made Vito's his third year, and now he's playing junior A as an 18-year-old. Like, beautiful. It's one of those stories that like a little perseverance goes a long way. And if you have the right support system in play, like lucky enough, he has 3 brothers that will support him no matter what. But we knew what he was capable of doing. I knew, and then we all did. But even my dad, we all knew what he's capable of doing. So giving him that extra little push really helped him. And now hopefully he's gonna have a big summer and big things ahead for him as well.
Great. I love it, Jaxon. This is it's so refreshing to hear optimism in the game.
You need
Right.
it.
Because seriously, man, it is a little bit dramatic. It's like, no, they don't make it at U18 Vetoes, it's over. If you don't make it as a first year, it's over. That's kind of the feel around the community.
Mhm.
So hearing Carter's story is amazing. It's nice to know that you can still make it and you can still be pushed through, and you just have to believe, really.
You
And you have to
really
be
do.
willing to grind. You have to be willing to grind through that adversity.
100%. And that's the crazy thing when you just look at different aspects and the back to adversity, because you go through it a lot in hockey, but for kids, it's like, if you can just keep working and just keep believing, like, who's going to take that away from you? And at the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and be like, do you know what? I gave it my all. Might not have worked out at the end, but at least I tried. I think that's the best thing you can do.
That's huge, man. At least I tried. I am tired of hearing people say this. Doesn't matter what they do, they're all going to end up at the same place, which is the beer league. We're all going to be sitting around the beer league in the locker room, cracking one open, and that's where we all end up. Yeah, that might be the case. But
Exactly.
what about the journey between youth and that stage in life, right? Like,
100%.
Jaxon Bellamy could play beer league at one point.
Mhm.
But he also played for Team Canada U17. He also got to go to the States and be, paid professional hockey money. You might go off to Europe.
Mhm.
You've lived a life of experience that you get from staying the path and not just accepting that, oh, well, I'm not going to the Chell. Not everyone goes to the Chell, and there's still so many other cool avenues that hockey can take you.
100%. And that's it's funny, like, you bring those things up, and like growing up, like, the amount of times I heard in the classroom, like, oh, like, stop talking about hockey, stop this, like, even just like with kids, and like, we're kids back then, right? Like, nobody really knows, but like, if you just go through life believing what everyone says, trust me, if I listened to everyone that told me that I wasn't going to make it, I would have stopped playing at probably 13 years old, or even 12, because that was the point where I played Pee Wee AA, and people were telling me that I was done.
Yeah, man.
Like, it's one of those things, if you just making sure you have a great support staff or support system, because honestly, like, you never know what a year's going to do. You never know what 2 years is going to do, whether you're going to fill into your body, whether you're going to get stronger, faster, you can always get better. And that's the one thing, is people got to stop this narrative of 15 years old, you're done. I see so many guys that I've played with that are like, oh yeah, no, like, I actually only started, like, and one of this, Jaxon Simon is a guy I played with. He started goalie at 13 years old.
Yeah.
He played with me when I was 19 years old in Sherbrooke.
That's great.
He was a 17-year-old. He played 4 years of goalie and made the Q. Like, these stories happen all the time. It's just whether or not you want to listen to them and actually believe in yourself. So it's shocking to see that, but hopefully more kids can actually close that door and not let those people in and just listen to what they want to do.
That's right. Like, close the door on negativity and just stay your path and see where it ends up, because U13 hockey, there's no body checking. It isn't the end all. You can light up U13 and still not be effective at the next level, or it may just take you a little longer, but one way or another, you need to adjust, acclimate to the checking game.
Yeah.
And you need to physically develop. You need to go through puberty. You need to get your size on, and then
You do.
once you have that, you can see what you have to work with, what kind of tools are in the toolbox, right?
Exactly.
And go from there.
Oh,
Sweet.
it's fun.
This is great, Jaxon. All right. Who pushed you the hardest growing up? Was it your dad, coaches, or your brothers?
I gotta say, my dad and my brothers. Like, looking back, like, it wasn't even like, I wouldn't about say push, because I was always really motivated, even at a young age. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that I wanted to play professional hockey. My dream was playing the NHL. And for that, it was, my dad was just give me the tools on what to work on and what to do. And he was always in my corner. Even on the lazy days where I didn't want to do anything, he'd be like, what are you doing? go shoot pucks, go do something. And I'd be like, all right, fine, I'll go do it. But like, and then like when I'm get a little older, even now, like I have three guys that are looking behind me, pushing me, being like, hey, what are you doing next? Are you going to the gym? Well, yeah, I'm going to the gym. Well, guess what? We're coming with you. So to have that motivation, we've trained together for, I think this is going on 4 years now, and it's just us in the gym, and we push each other like there's nobody's business. So that motivation, it's a lot of self-driven, but it's always nice to have 2 people or 5 people, even 6. My mom's always there when I need to talk to her about anything. So I honestly probably have the best supports system I can have.
Amazing. That's great, buddy. Was there ever a moment in your career that you realized, actually might take this to the next level? I might just not be another small town guy.
So honestly, like when I was playing band for the Kings, KV Kings down the street, I was putting up some good numbers. I didn't really think too much of it. And when I went to Atlantics, I was fortunate enough to win D of the tournament. And I kind of hit me a little like differently. I was like, wow, I was like, this is the best teams in Atlantic Canada. And I just won D at the tournament. I went, wow, all right, like, see how this goes. And going into the fall, I was trying out for the Vitoes and didn't really have too many expectations. Like I was told maybe second round pick, like maybe early, like late first round pick. And I didn't have any expectations going in. And I just went, and I had Randy Jones at the time, and he loved the game, and he really wanted everyone to love the game at that time. And he pushed me and really was like, hey, you're capable of doing this.
Yeah.
You just need to believe in yourself. And I was like, all right. And then some draft rankings came out, and I was seeing my name pretty high on the list. And I was like, maybe I can move up next year to the Q. Maybe I can do that. And then the confidence started kind of rolling in. I was like, all right, I'm like, there's more rankings, more drafts. And then I had more meetings with teams. And because I think teams, you can't talk to them till January now, but I was talking to teams in January, and I'm like, okay, I've talked to all 18 and it's February. And I went, this is cool. And then I went out with dinner. I went out to dinner with Roger Shannon, who was the GM, the head coach of the Wildcats as well, Darren Rumble. And I'm kind of like, I'm having dinner with my dad, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, this is kind of falling together. And when I heard my name get called in St. John at Harbor Station, I just was like, I got to go walk up on the stage in front of everyone now. I'm like, this is really cool. So it was one of those moments where I was like, wow. I'm like, it's a process. It really is. But at the end of the day, you have those moments where it's like, all right, I can do this. I really can. And you just got to have that switch. See, for me, I truly believe that, because like, honestly, coming from a small town, like, you have to work for everything you get. There's no advantage of being from a small town. And I truly believe that. And yeah, you know what? There might be some kids that come from the big city that maybe didn't have it as easy. But whenever I was growing up, I would just love it, because like, my motivation was, I might not have the most skill, or I might not outskill you, but I will outwork you every single day of the week. And doesn't matter if I'm hurting every day, I still will get up. And that's something that at a small town, you're used to the cold rinks. You're used to waking up at early, like 6 a.m. practices. And you're just used to it. And you're used to having a disadvantage. So you never want to feel sorry for yourself, but you always just want to make sure that you're out working and outperforming those guys for sure.
Excellent. What's something people from home don't see about the sacrifices it takes to become a professional hockey player?
There's a lot. Like, start from the beginning. Like, I moved away from home when I was 16 years old.
Yeah.
And
Huge.
I lost many years with my little brothers that were crucial years for them. And even thinking about it makes me a little sad. But like Reed, when I left, he was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And that kills me because now he's going to graduate next year. And I've missed all those years, but there's a lot of sacrifice not seeing your family, not being there with them, and moving away at 16 is tough.
Yeah.
And I don't care how people might be like, oh, you played in the queue. The queue only goes so far. Yes, you can have great teammates and everything, but you're homesick. You're going through things that a 16-year-old doesn't do.
Yeah.
I've been away from home for almost 10 years now, and I'm 25.
It's insane.
Like, it's crazy to think about, but it's like, that's the sacrifice you got to do. Like, even my summers, like when I train, probably there were summers I'd drive up to Moncton and back twice in a day for 1 a.m. workout, drive my brothers back, and then drive up for ice. And I'm exhausted, but that was the only ice available. It was COVID. You couldn't go down to Halifax. And there were, I think, 2 summers I would go down to Halifax and I'd spend my whole summer. So my whole year would be away from home. Yeah, I'd be home on the weekends, but it's a mental like sacrifice that at the end of the day, you know it's worth it. But at the same time, it's like, why am I doing that? So that's where motivation comes in. That's where finding your why. And being able to have that why can get you through those tough moments of missing home and missing your friends. Like, amount of things that I've missed.
Thinking right now, man.
It's so tough to even wrap my head around it because a lot of the time I try to push it down so I don't think about it, but it's crazy. Brothers' birthdays. I've missed my own birthdays where I had to celebrate with my billet family, and they were amazing. Don't get me wrong, but you really want to be spending it with the people that you love and your family. And it's something that all those little details, they add up. But at the end of the day, the sacrifice at the end and being able to get to where you want to be, it's so rewarding because you know that you did all the right things to get there.
Chris, great answer, man. Like, man, you got my brain just thinking here. Like, because I think about my boy and whether or not I could do it. It's not my choice. It is and it isn't. But like, do I have it in me to let him go at 15 years old? He's got a late birthday, so he's not 15 until December. So I'm like, I still have him for a bit. But like at 15, 16, do I have it within me to say, go boy, like go off to prep school somewhere or this and that? I struggle with it. I have a friend whose daughter left at 14 years old. She ended up going to prep school in the States, I think Vermont. And this was high school. It might have been junior high. I think it was junior high into high school. Finished high school, had some university offers in the States. Kind of went 1 year, I think, and then took a right turn. And now she's at the Royal Military College in Ontario. And training to be, a pilot and something to do with AI. And like, she's extremely smart. She was at that prep school she went to. She was the valedictorian of the prep school.
Wow.
And the captain of the soccer and hockey team. Ridiculous, right? Jasmine Creamer is her name. I'll give her a shout out. And
that is
one
crazy.
Of my favorite kind of kids and stories out there. But now she's an officer in the military. She's got her sights set and she's focused. But I look back and I'm like, oh my God, that girl moved out of her parents' home at 14 years old, I believe. And I'm trying to put myself in the position of the parents. I'm like, your daughter was gone at 14. That's crazy to me. Would carry them like babies around the house, man. And monsters, both of them. So
it's like I couldn't even imagine what my parents went through, and it's not even when they leave. It's not even that. It's what they're going through. They're just the mental highs and lows, and when you get low like that away from home, it is so tough to dig yourself out. And like at 16 years old, trying to have that awareness of I'm not myself right now. I'm somebody completely different. I'm not acting the right way. And even at 14, trying to deal with all that stuff, it's crazy. It is so crazy to deal with.
So in saying all that, then well, it's not now than ever, but more than ever, I guess it's so important to take care of the mental aspect of things, especially if you are going to dedicate yourself to going away and going on this path. Like the kids that are going away 6, 7 hours, 10 hours away from home at 15, 16, 17 years old, they should be doing the additional stuff to try to stay mentally sound and
100%.
and to build some sort of resilience for the challenges that will show up, because there will be the I'm missing home or the breakup or something happens at home, but they need to have some sort of resilience for that. Did you get offered anything like that, like as a young man in the queue while you're away? Like, is that part of the programming?
So if I'm being completely honest, like when I was 16, you asked me what a sports psychologist was when I was 16 years old. I wouldn't have known. I had no idea what that was. And when I went to Moncton, like it was tough. Like I went in there, I played a lot with the Vitos, and going in as a first round pick, like I kind of expected, I was like, you know what, maybe I'm going to play, but like I'm going to work for it, and I will outwork all the D that were there.
Yeah.
But as a 16-year-old, that's not how it works. You're an older guy, you're going to play. And me not understanding that, I was like, I thought the hardest worker, the most dedicated is going to play. And it wasn't the case. So like I would show up to the rink some days and I'd be ready. I'd be dressed up in my suit. And my mom remembers this. She bought me a brand new suit, and I walked into the rink, and the way I found out I wasn't playing was my jersey wasn't in my stall. And I wore this brand new gray suit, and I told my mom, I said, I'm never wearing this suit again, because I was like, I'm never letting this go.
That's Evan's suit now.
Oh, I think it is actually, but I was like, no, never wearing it. But those are the mental battles that it's like, you're geared up, you're ready to go. No, you got to switch it off, and now you're going to do a workout. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how is this okay? Like how, like as a 16-year-old trying to deal with this, I'm like, where's the communication? Like, where are we going to talk about, like, hey, you're not playing because of this? There wasn't that. It was, do you know what? Healthy scratch. You're out of the lineup. And so I played 10 games. Like, it was so weird. It was up and down. And like my first game I scored, and I was like, this is going to be a fun year.
Yeah, I'm the guy.
Scratch the second game. And I'm like, all right, this is weird. Played my second and third game, scored my third game, and I was like, all right, maybe I'm going to be in the lineup. No, scratch the next game. So I ended up playing 10 games, and then I made Team Canada. And I went there, had a really strong tournament, and I was like, all right, like I'm ready to like kickstart and restart this whole season and be ready to play. No, scratched again. So it was this just back and forth kind of cycle of, am I going to play? Am I not? So then when I was traded to Sherbrooke, I had no confidence, and my mental state was terrible. I was so hard on myself. I had zero confidence with the puck. I was just chipping it away at stupid moments. My game was nowhere where it needed to be at that level. And especially as a first round pick, you're like, there's more pressure on you.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was one of those things that I was in a deep hole, and I really needed to climb myself out of it. And I focused on summer training, on just a day by day, stacking days on days on days. And when I figured that out, it helped, but I still was very fragile. It was one of those things where it was like, all right, if I make this play, great. If I don't, am I going back to square one? Or if I'm scratched, am I going back to square one? So being a kid, you focus on the sports psychologist. You need one. That you need to train the brain to overcome situations like that, because going through it in the moment is tough.
You think it's the end of the world?
Oh, it really, at those moments, I truly did, because I was like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like my parents can attest to this, is I didn't act myself. I'm this kid back then I'm always upbeat. I'm always happy. I get to go to the rink and play hockey. That was not the case. I just wanted the season to be over at those moments because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to handle those mental battles within yourself. And if you're a kid going through it and you ever face that type of adversity, I promise it'll get better. And when you learn from it, it's always easier. But in the moment, it is so tough.
Keep pushing, and I hope you're all listening out there. Take care of the mental.
Mhm.
You have to train your brain the same way you're training your body.
Oof.
It's like
100%.
you want your shot to be better, then you work it.
Mhm.
I want to be able to get the tools in that mental toolbox for those challenging situations of life. And then it's just going to spill into the rest of your life, right? You can handle financial situations, employment situations, all that, right? It just makes it a little easier. So excellent, man. I like it. This is great stuff. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit.
Mhm.
Loosen it up just a little bit for you. Take you off the hot seat, and we'll just have a little bit of this or that. And you don't need to think very much. You can just throw out an answer. If you want to add to it, feel free.
Yeah.
Do you like to get an apple or a snipe?
Honestly, nowadays, I don't get too many snipes, so I'm going to have to go with snipe.
Gotta get a snipe, man. Are you a stay-at-home D man, or what are we talking here, Jackson?
I never knew what my game was probably up until this year, and it is a shutdown D-man.
Yes, sir.
And I love it because there's not too many of those around anymore, but shut down, physical, drop the gloves when you need to type of D-man. So
Nice. You like a beauty or a pigeon?
well, when I'm talking about my brother's definitely pigeon.
That's great. Reed's definitely a pigeon. Yeah, I said it, pal. Yeah. You like the toe drag swag or the mish? Michigan.
I gotta go with the mish because I've seen a few of my teammates do it this year. And
Really? In game?
No, in practice.
Okay.
Not against me.
I want to see a mish in game.
But he's done it a few times, and I just look at him. I'm like, that's not in my toolbox. And I'm like, don't even try.
You want to hit one top cheddar or 5-hole?
Top cheddar. Have to.
Yeah, and get the water bottle flying off the backside. You are of a Sally or act like you've been there guy?
I Sally. I Sally. Nothing
You're a
crazy.
Sally guy?
I am. I like my goals, the goals I scored this year. Like I just get so fired up and I got to keep myself calm. Even like when other boys score, like I get so fired up on the ice. I'm like, let's go. And then I'm all right. I'm like, I can't do that. I'm like, I need to relax a bit.
That's awesome. Do you have a specific Jaxon Bellamy Sally that you can show us here or no?
Oh, I usually would just bring my arms down and one leg up. I've done that a few times. This year, I don't know why I hit the glass, I think twice. And I was like, what am I doing? I get back to the bench. All the boys are like, Bell's like, come on. Like, don't do
like
that.
You've been there.
Exactly. And I just shake my head. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm like, it's not my fault.
Buddy, you got to lay the big hit or take the big block? Which one?
Probably a block. Like at the end of the game, blocking one of those shots, the boys are fired up. It sucks, but it's worth it for sure.
Beauty. Clear the crease or join the rush?
The coach who's ever listening to this, he's not going to hate it, but I love joining the rush when I can.
All right, man, get after it. You gotta be offensive every once in a while.
I've done it twice, I would say, and it's worked out. Other times hasn't, but we'll say I'm at 100% now.
If you answer this correctly, we'll see though. I assume you know who Scott Stevens is.
Oh yeah,
Scott Stevens or Cale Makar?
Scott Stevens.
Yes,
Baby. Rock 'em, sock 'em.
Oh.
We bought those. So we bought the whole thing, the whole collection at a yard sale. And I'm not even joking. My brothers and I, we'd be at the cottage and we'd had the VH tapes and we'd put them in and we'd watch. And my dad's like, you're watching these again? Oh, we couldn't get enough of it. Joe Sakic, Scott Stevens, Paul Correa, like all those guys. I'm sitting there. I'm like, how is that guy not dead? Like,
Unreal. Unreal. Great, man. You want to make the first pass or do an end-to-end rush?
First pass.
First pass, baby. Let's go. Okay. Family road trip or team bus trip?
That's a tough one. I gotta say both, just because I love like our family road trips. Like we did one actually not too long ago. We went and saw Bruce Springsteen, and that was
Where at?
Gillette Stadium down in Boston, and it was unbelievable. It was so much fun. Brought it back tons of memories, but the bus trips, playing cards and everything, and I don't lose too much money, but sometimes you do. Sometimes you do.
Beautiful. All right. So let's hit your music taste here a little bit. Do you like a pump up rap song? The old country tune from Hampton.
I have to go with country. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, during games, I have to listen to country or I get too amped up. And then I'm like, my legs feel heavy. Like, it's actually ridiculous. And I learned that at like 18 years old, that I'm like, all right, this rap and rock, I'm like, it doesn't work for me. I'm like, I need to listen to some slow country.
It might focus the mind a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Going calm. Like that. I like that. All right. You need a break for some water or anything? Right. See what we can get into here. You've talked a lot about adversity and like low points and stuff. Like I think you've hit a lot of this stuff that I've looked at already. You've talked about failure. You've talked about being a AA player and still having the mindset of it's not over here for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stuff we've hit is great. What's one criticism though, Jaxon, that bothered you but ultimately made you a better hockey player? If there is one.
If I'm being completely honest, it was when I was at Arizona's camp, and I thought I was having a pretty good camp, and I get pulled into the room, and they're being like, do you know what, Jaxon, like, we're going to send you home or whatever. And a few of the scouts, they were there, and they said, you know what, there's always other ways to make it to pro hockey. And I kind of like looked at them, and I didn't have a reaction. I wasn't going to say anything, but it fueled me. Like, it lit a fire under me, because I was like, you don't think I can play pro hockey?
Yeah.
Like, I kind of was like, really? In my head, it was one of those moments where I'm like, I'd never say it to them because they're NHL scouts. I get it. But I kind of was like, I'm going to prove you wrong. Like, it left a sour taste in my mouth. And so when I went back to Bathurst, I was a man on a mission, and I knew what I wanted to do. But at that point in my life, I really didn't know what type of player I was going to be.
Yeah.
And I was able to put up some points in Bathurst, and I kind of was like, oh, maybe I can be an offensive defenseman with some defensive qualities. And going through that, I'm like, I wish I could tell myself, like, yes, you have the shot, you can do that, but that's not what's going to get you to pro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those moments where I'm like, I'm going to do this, do that. And it rubbed me the wrong way, but I didn't know how to do anything about it, which made it really tough, because I was like, you see all these guys get drafted because of points, and it's like points. I look at it, I'm like, you don't need points. You don't need points to move up the levels. You don't need to have flashy numbers. Does it help? 100%. But for me, going into pro this year, I didn't really know what player I was in St. Mary's, due to the fact that my first year I was put on the power play, I was scoring goals, and I had a really good offensive year. And then my second year, I was off the power play. I was trying to find maybe a defensive type of style. In my third year, it was just a mix of everything. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm on the power play one time, I'm on PK, I'm on this. So like, I didn't know. But when I went into pro, I had a good discussion with my agent. He was like, you are going to be this mean, shut down D-man with a great first pass, and focus on that. Don't try to do anything else. Just focus on those things, and you're going to have a good year. I was like, all right, I can do that. And I focused on it, and I was able to have a really successful year. And
still gathered points.
Yeah, and I was still able to put up some numbers, and due to the fact that I just didn't overcomplicate it. I got shots through. I made sure I had a good first pass, and making sure that I was just able to figure out who I was.
Being reliable is huge at the next level. The more I hear, I've just kind of had some conversations with scouts recently and a couple coaches, and small things, man, that kids don't think, the non-flashy things
They don't.
is what really helps you stand out, because I feel like finding the goal scorer, I mean, it's real tough, but
Mm-hmm.
everyone's trying to become that now. Where it's,
Exactly.
I think, harder to find the humble kind of
It is.
do the stuff away from the puck people that just make the game go.
It is. It
You
is
know?
tough, and like because not many people want to do it. And for example, like for me, like I go in the corner, I hit somebody the wrong way. I have two guys on the other team that want to fight me.
Yeah.
And like this year, I didn't ask anyone to fight, and I still ended up with 8 fights. And it's just like it's one of those things where it's like you have to do it. And like I'm not scared of it. I'm not worried. But as that all around D man, drop the gloves, might as well do it type of thing.
That's interesting. I was gonna go there anyways about the scrap a little bit.
Yeah.
In the ECHL, do you feel like that's a big part of the game? AHL also. Do you, especially as the stay-at-home defenseman type
Mhm.
that isn't the point guy, is that something that you feel like you're pressured into? Is it expected? Does anybody ever sit you down and be like, "Hey, man, like you are gonna be this guy, and you're also going to have to drop him too"?
Well, that's kind of another discussion I had with my agent. He said, he's like, the way you play, you're going to have to fight once in a while.
Yeah.
And I fought in junior and I wasn't worried about it. But even this year, I kind of was like, all right, these are grown men that I'm fighting. And I got to protect myself, but I also got to make sure that I can throw a few punches. So it was definitely an adjustment. Like I had my fights, and it really probably was December where I kind of grew my confidence in that area, because Morgan Adam was he's captain of Trois-Rivières, great guy, but there was a situation that happened, and he was like, and it's gonna happen, that's part of the game, and he was like, we're going. And I was like, all right. And it was a good fight. And he's one of the toughest guys in the league. So I kind of was like, all right, I held myself pretty well. And then third period comes around. He goes, we're going again.
Jeez, all right.
And so second time in the game. And I was like, and then I did even better the second time around. And I went, all right, like I don't have to be afraid and worried. Like I can do this. And it's just something where it's like, it's a confidence thing. It's like, all right, you want to fight me? Perfect. Like I have no problem answering the bell, but at the same time, there's some that you're just like, do I really want to go tonight? Like, and there's a respect factor in that league. There really is, between the guys that do it and the guys, they understand. Like there's some guys I told, like there was one game, I had, I think 18 stitches in my mouth, and I was wearing a visor, and he goes, hey, do you want one tonight? And I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I got 18 in the mouth. He goes, yeah, no worries. Waited next week. We ended up going the week after. Like it's just that respect factor. And there's not too many guys that won't give you a tap on the back after answering the bell or a fight in that league. And there's not too many fights anymore, but it's more of a skills league, to be honest. But to have those guys that will protect your teammates and have that respect factor, there's not too many anymore.
So in saying that, then I'm just going to throw this question right from left field at you. You believe that all the professional hockey players, ECHL, AHL, NHL, should the boys be wearing bubbles?
No.
Come on, Jaxon. Let's
stand it.
Your first game back there, you tell the coach of the Mariners, Riff Klitschers told you that you need to put the bubble on, and you're going to wear the bubble, and you need to make it cool, so then my boy can wear the bubble, and all the kids coming up will wear the bubble and can keep their teeth.
Well, see, I already lost one of my teeth. I from my teammate, he slashed me right across and it split my tooth. But I had a bubble on, so when I split my mouth, it went right through my lip, and I got 5 on the outside, 4 on the inside, and 9 all the way through. I had 18 stitches in my mouth, and it sucked. It was the worst pain I've ever felt. But my equipment manager was like, all right, we're throwing a bubble on. It lasted, I got my stitches, I came back, there were 7 minutes left in the period. I had it on for 7 minutes. I had one guy on the other team go, Bellamy, take the fishbowl off. I like to see how tough you are. And I looked at him, and I've never worn it since. I have had stitches all in my mouth, and I will not put it on, because it's just one of those things where I'm like, no,
You know, eh?
I just can't do it. And it might sound stupid, but at the end of the day, I'm like, it doesn't matter.
You're a hockey
yeah,
player.
they'll fix my teeth.
Oh, yeah. That's funny. What are the next steps for you, Jackson? Like, I don't know how much you can talk about,
Mhm.
you know, what your goals are, or, you know, if you
Right.
affiliate to other teams, do you
Mhm.
affiliate to the AHL? Is there still NHL dreams? Like, what's your goals now look like?
I think for anyone, like even playing, like for myself, like I think my goal right now is to play in the American Hockey League. And I believe that I've put myself in a pretty good situation to get there, especially after this year. But right now it's, there's stuff going on behind closed doors that hopefully will turn into something. But right now it's just being able to make sure I'm improving my game and what I need to do. And I think I've done a pretty good job and put myself in the right door to get to where I want to go for next year.
You can only control what you can control over the summer months, that you're going to be working with the Rink Rebels in Fredericton and giving back to the game. Is that something that's important to you, giving back and helping develop, you know, these girls and the next generation?
Honestly, like what Doug Grandy's doing up there, it's phenomenal. It really is. And to see, I was fortunate enough I went on the ice up with them, and just to see like how much they are enjoying it. Because even like when I was growing up, like there wasn't really anything for women's hockey. And it's one of those things, there should have been. And I feel like there'd be a lot more New Brunswick athletes, women's athletes, that would be successful if there was. So when Doug came to me, he was like, would you want to do this? And help out with the shooting program. I was like 100%. I think this is a great aspect, or a great organization that's moving the right direction, that's helping so many athletes hopefully reach their goals or just have somewhere to play. And I think that's the biggest issue in the past was there wasn't opportunity for women's hockey. And it's growing with the PWHL and seeing everything that's going on. It is so cool to see everything that's going on.
You're right on that, man. Like talking about the why in the road earlier and worrying about, oh, you have to go to high school or whatever. It was so much more challenging for the girls, right? They'd get to probably bantam hockey playing with the boys at high level, and then it was like, it's over.
Exactly.
Go off to high school or whatever, and there wasn't anything. So it is cool to see that there are so many more opportunities and prep school programs, and PWHL was huge. I loved it the first year when it came out. I was watching all the games. The energy was there. It was the grit, and they, you know, it's a lot tougher than a lot of people think. Like I like sitting down with PWHL.
They don't give it enough credit. They really don't. And like you watching those games, the skill is there. Yep. Everything's there, and their fan base is growing every day. And for them to have expansion team, I think they have 4 expansion teams coming now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Unbelievable news for the league, and it's just going to continue to grow, which is awesome.
Have you gone to a game live?
I haven't gone to a game live. It would be awesome to do that, but I just haven't had the time with our schedule and stuff like that.
Schedule. I'd like to, anyways. Emily and I from Tactical Edge, mine. We've talked about it, and I think maybe this is a year that we try to pack up and go off to a PWHL game or something. But
it'd be so cool. It's definitely a different atmosphere. Like it's one of those things like you see videos of, and it's like, wow, it's like it's completely different atmosphere. But I think it's the right atmosphere to continue to grow the game and to continue just for everyone at that. Honestly, everyone.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Just a couple more questions here, and then I'll let you get back on the road here. If you could give every 15-year-old hockey player one brutally honest piece of advice, what would that be?
It might be the hardest thing you do, but at the end of the day, it will be so worth it. So worth it. And back to the adversity and just the mental toughness, because it's one of those things that you look yourself in the mirror, and that was my biggest thing, was probably in junior. I wasn't the most positive, and I can sit there and look and be like, you know what, that wasn't me. But there's a TV show called Ted Lasso, and it might be my favorite show ever. It took a switch for me. I was like, wow, I'm like, I need to look at life more positive, and I need to be more positive to myself. And when I started doing that, things started happening with my career. And I am try to be positive every single day, and no matter what outlook. And when one door closes, another one opens. So don't ever take no for an answer, and just continue to believe in yourself is my type of response for that.
Beautiful, Jackson.
Yeah.
That is great, man. Honestly, I think we ended on that one. Like that was
Yeah.
straight to the point, and that's a great message for the young people out there. So, for everybody listening, tune in, follow along, watch Jaxon Bellamy and his journey, and we'll see if he's with the Maine Mariners again this year, if he's playing elsewhere. But we just keep watching and supporting from afar, and enjoying this process. So, thank you very much for stopping in, buddy. Can't wait to see where you end up.
Hey, thanks for having me, Clef. It's been
Awesome.
awesome.
Great.